Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm your host, Meredith.
And I'm your host, Cass.
Let's have some fun.
The fastest guest revisit. We were like, yeah.
That was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
We liked you so much.
Start, Lauren's here not to talk about pharmacy. We're going to talk about bunnies because she raises bunnies. We thought it would be a perfect time for spring and Easter and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. But I want to talk about safety first.
Ooh. What are we being safe about?
On Friday night, we got home.
Oh,
yeah. Everyone's like, oh boy, I saw this on social.
Yes.
So yeah, I actually even posted it on Clopen Instagram, I believe, and Facebook. So go take a look. We had some fire trucks at our house on Saturday. So Friday night, I got home from work. I was up in Wisconsin stores.
Yes.
Saw you.
Yes.
And came home and Julie and I were like, I feel like cooking. Let's go to Culver's, So we got home and we're eating and Steve gets home and I can kind of smell something burning. I'm like, oh, it's probably the truck, right? He opens up the garage door. He pulled the truck in and it's like a little bit of exhaust. Then all of a sudden Julia's like, no, wait, I smell something too. It's a little bit different. It's like smelling like burning plastic. I'm like, oh no.
Which is never a good sign.
Never a good sign. And she said, oh, you know what? My heater upstairs in the salon is plugged in. It wasn't on. She's very good about shutting everything off. She goes, let me go unplug it. So she runs up there. She goes, oh yeah, it's my heater.
Because it really smelled up there.
It really smelled in the salon. And we were like, oh, good. Okay, so she brought it down. And then we decided that maybe something's wrong with the wires in the salon. So we shut the breaker off for the upstairs. And then we're sitting watching a movie and I'm like, man, is it still smelling? So I'm like, all right, I'm going to shut off like the breaker down in the bathroom that's like just below. Because I'm like, my gosh, I was getting a little nervous. I thought maybe it was like wires. So I didn't realize this, but overnight on Friday, she had to come downstairs and sleep in the living room because her eyes were burning.
Oh, no.
She couldn't sleep. And I'm like, wow, this is so crazy. So we get up Saturday morning and I'm looking around. I'm like trying to figure out. In my mind, I kept thinking it's wires.
Were you touching walls?
Yeah, I was touching walls. Nothing was hot, any of that. Yeah, it's super scary. It was super scary. And I just kept going upstairs, downstairs, downstairs, and turning off breakers, putting them back on, and didn't really think about anything else, right? Because I'm like, it's got to be something in her salon. She has a lot of things plugged in and we unplugged everything and we kind of went through the motions. So then I think I called you and I said, I think something's going on. Something
and
smells.
I said, call non-emergency.
And they can bring in their CO2s or carbon.
I said they'll bring something in to look around and they'll figure it out.
Right before and when they were on their way, Julia went to go do a dish, like wash a dish because my kids are so great. Yeah. Wash her own dish and put them away. And she goes, oh, it's the vent. And so we bent down. There's like a little vent underneath the sink. Yeah. And sure enough, it reeks. I mean, it was so bad, and I kept going, what in the heck? What is going on? There is like a fire behind our walls. So then we go downstairs and in the basement where the laundry is. And we go in there and she goes, man, it's kind of hot in here. And I'm like, oh, is it our furnace? And I went to go touch our furnace and burned my hands.
My God. Oh,
so I immediately shut the breaker off. And, it shut down immediately.
Thank God you know where your breakers are.
Oh, yeah.
Most people don't even know where their breaker box is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, well, yeah. You should know.
You should.
Definitely.
Most people don't. Some people don't.
It's in my garage. I hate it.
So if you have to shut down something quick. And so I'll go back to this real quick. But I read that if you have a wire fire, find where your breaker is, shut it off, then you can use water to get the fire out while the police while the fire is coming.
Yeah.
So I was reading all up on it. Like Friday night, I'm like, okay, if something happens, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we touch the furnace, it's hot. I'm like, oh, it's the furnace. Okay, so we shut that breaker off so it doesn't run. Fire truck comes, police officer comes, and they're all standing there. And of course, it doesn't smell like anything.
Well, no, because you shut it off.
And we had all the windows up, out or open. We had all the windows open. We had, and so they said, well, let's close everything and turn everything back on and we have our thing. So sure enough, I turned the heat back on and they were in the bathroom, like the first bathroom by our garage that's right below Julia's salon. And they went, oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And then it just filled the whole house. So very scary. It was carbon monoxide. It went real high when we turned the heat on. Yeah. And Julia was actually sick. Yeah. She was sick on Saturday. We went to a party. God. She had like a migraine.
I'm glad
stomach ache.
Came downstairs to sleep. And
it could have been, and she closes her bedroom door to sleep. I mean, this could have ended like in tragedy. Yeah. Not to even be dramatic, but it was very scary because I didn't even think to turn the heat off on Friday night.
Right.
So we've been without a furnace.
on our last couple of coldest days. Hopefully we're over with that BS now.
I think it only got to about 63 in here, so that's not bad at all. A couple sweatshirts, you know, it was fine. We had a couple space heaters. That was fine.
Some socks on while you're
sleeping.
So
I do want to shout out to Jets Heating.
Nice.
They showed up on Saturday. No, they showed up on Sunday. Yes. And Chris was amazing. He came in, spent a good chunk of time trying to figure it out, like trying to save us from buying a new furnace. No, the outtake and the intake, nothing was working, all fried up. It's a mess.
Dang.
So then the whole team came this morning and put a new furnace in.
I mean, I guess it's better that it happened now instead of when it was like 20 degrees below.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that we're all still here.
Yeah.
Like, number one, it was getting so hot that it could have blown up.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, that's what I was
told. And
the
CO2 poisoning.
The carbon is. So we got three new carbon detectors, CO2 detectors throughout the house. Because the one that we had, Steve was just telling you that when it would go off, he would hit it with, like years ago, when it would go off because it would beep. Maybe there was like a low battery because, you know, we don't do maintenance around here. He would hit it with a broom and just be like, no, stop beeping. And then I think he finally threw it out. So, yeah. So we now have 3. So go get CO2
Can we talk about your stove then too?
Okay, yes. This is wild.
Then you call me again
on Sunday.
Freaking out.
Yeah. So
oh no.
I learned so much this weekend. So first let's end with go get your carbon monoxide detectors
and smoke detectors.
And smoke detectors. Spend the money on them. It was very scary. Julia was very upset, especially because she was sick. And I had a strange stomachache on Saturday.
Yeah.
So on Sunday, she cooked breakfast. I took a shower and then we switched, right? Because we were getting ready for this party. And I go to start my stove and the flames are orange. And I'm like, well, that's not right. The flames are supposed to be blue. Yeah. So I'm Googling it because that's the smartest thing to do while the flame is still going in my house. Now, I wasn't like too worried because there was no gas going. There was gas in the house, but it wasn't going because the furnace was busted. They shut everything down.
And it wasn't like sparking or anything.
It wasn't sparking and, but I would go to start it and it would kind of go poof, and then it would give me the flames and they were orange. So they were blue like at the base. And I'm just like, now what? Yeah. What is going on?
On your brand new stove.
So I'm like, okay, we're just going to leave it. I left a window open. I'm like, it still probably is just like, I Googled that, sometimes it's a humidifier or turn it off. Check the gas in the back. But when Chris came, he checked all the outtakes and intakes of the gas and we were at a perfect level.
Yeah.
So I wasn't too worried.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are the chances that this stove goes bad the same time it had to have been connected, right? So then I text my sister-in-law. I'm like, hey, so you got a tech because my flames are orange on my stove? She goes, you need to call Nicor. I'm not sending you a tech. Like, what do you mean? So I called Nicor and they did the, how flames are orange, what was going on yesterday, all that kind of stuff. And she goes, do you have a humidifier going on in the house? And I said, no. And then I'm like, oh, Julia got a brand new one because she's going to start doing eyelashes and you have to have a certain humidity in the room or they won't stay. So she had it running in the morning and it messes up your flames.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And that's what you said.
Yes.
And I texted you and I said, well, ask Eric and Todd if I'm going to blow up. And they're like, no, not going to blow up.
Todd was like, you're fine. It's okay. So my bestie Todd is a maintenance guy for like an apartment complex. Mm-hmm. So anytime I have small appliance or like electrical or drywall or carpet, it's like he's the guy I go to. Small plumbing issues, he has the tool to fix it, right? So I texted him and he was like, nah, it's from humidity. She's fine. She won't blow up. And I was like, this is from Todd. And I just copied and pasted it. We love you, Todd. Thank you.
Eric chimed in there too, right?
Eric chimed in
so
too,
thanks to everybody who helped, including my sister-in-law and my brother who I called and my mom and my dad was on the other line.
OMG.
Well, so I am that kind of person that I will not call a professional until I hear from my family and friends.
Same.
They're going to tell me. Some people go to Facebook or socials and they go, something's wrong with my brain. And they ask the Facebook doctors. I ask family and friends and then I call the pros, right?
Yeah.
So everybody was sending me messages like, hey, we have this guy. Call this furnace guy. Call this, call this person. It was super great. Everybody was very helpful. Funny. I did call Nicor. They said that it was fine. Orange flames are fine. It just means there's something off in the house. You're not going to blow up. She probably thought I was nuts, but
I'm sure
she did ask all the right questions. So
yeah. And that's what I said when you I told you to call the fire department.
Yeah,
I'm like, and I know you're going to be like, I'm so sorry I'm wasting your time. And they're going to be like, it's not a waste of time. It's what we're here for,
Yeah,
like,
they were super nice.
Yeah.
They were super nice.
Yeah.
And then
they were probably glad to like go to a normal house.
Oh, yeah.
And like figure out this issue.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a crazy fucking lady like doing who knows what.
yeah.
Come on. You're not
So
crazy.
I said, you guys smell it too? I'm so happy. I'm so thankful I'm not crazy. He goes, well, I'm not certified to tell you that. So thanks, Johnsburg PD and Johnsburg Fire. Y'all are amazing.
That's
so
crazy.
And we're here. We're here. So, and we have a new furnace, and thanks to Jets Heating.
Welcome to the club. We replaced 2 furnaces, 2 air conditioners this year.
Yeah.
So,
You were just asking if they replaced the air conditioner. I'm like, no, but we'll see what happens this summer.
Stop.
Yeah,
You
we
said
had
it's not
replaced
that
our
old.
Mid-July.
Oh, no.
That
That's
was,
the
and
worst.
I was the well and the water softener, the whole pump. So we're renting to buy because
man.
I'm like, no, I can't do that right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
When
yeah.
did you have to do that?
I had to do that like when I was 9, almost ready to pop with Oliver.
Oh
And I have
my
a crawl
gosh.
space, and it was flooding.
Oh my gosh.
And my ex was at work. And I'm like, oh, and
What
I'm
is
watching 2 other kids. I'm like, I'm trying to waddle in the crawl space.
Oh my God.
Something's happening down here. But I'm also babysitting 2 kids under the age of 2. So
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
We had one time my neighbor sends me a video of our well pump and water's just coming out of it. It's in the front yard, right?
gosh, yep.
And Bud saved us for this one. He happened to go by. Johnny and Eric are digging to try to find where is this water coming from.
Yeah.
Bud's like, no, you dig right here. He went and got the little backhoe, dug it out. Eric fixed it. Bud put all the sod back in there and all the dirt back in there with the backhoe. I love our neighbors.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
it's amazing.
I love our neighbors.
That's great.
good.
So Lauren's here because we're going to talk about bunnies. I had one. It was a little shit. It scratched
Yeah.
me all the time. I kept it in the yeah.
You got scratches?
It's
like having a little puppy all the time. Do they get you with your back feet? Their back feet?
Oh man, no. I mean, their front feet, but yeah, their back feet. They can
Right?
kick like.
They can kick crazy.
I have a gate where they're in a free roam, and it's like, okay, it's probably up to my waist, a little higher.
So like 2.5, 3 feet.
She'll jump my one little 8-month-old one right from the floor over it.
Oh,
Oh,
my
wow.
god!
They're like cats. They're bloop. I'm like, what the? Because I'm seeing little Cocoa Puffs around the living room. Like,
Little
how
Cocoa
the hell
Puffs.
did you get out? Oh, I see one. Where's 2?
Oh,
And
that's
they're
funny.
running around, and
wow. Do they scratch the corners of your walls?
they do scratch, and they eat carpet. That was
yeah,
great.
mine did that too.
They eat wires. They call it spicy hay because they're
Oh
supposed
my
to have
God.
like 80% of their diet is hay
okay.
because their digestive system they have to keep eating.
Yeah.
So they have hay, so they're always chewing wires. So
I was
I don't
gonna
know
say
how
they
many
have to keep chewing too,
yeah,
right?
because their teeth keep growing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so do their nails too. Their nails.
Oh,
get
yeah.
very- my mom tried to help me cut
it's
the
hard.
bunny's
They're
nails
so-
once, and she got all scratched up. I felt
Jesus.
horrible.
I have to wrap. I get a warm towel. I put it in the dryer. I wrap them up like a baby.
Oh,
Just
that's
cradle
cute.
them, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
because luckily they have quicks like dogs.
Yeah. So you can see.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
have to. It was a 2-person job for
Yeah.
a while, and then I'm like, all right, you know what? Just get over here.
How many
Yeah.
bunnies do you have?
I have 3 now.
Oh wow.
Is that the only pet you have?
I have a dog.
Oh, yeah, and he's fine.
What does
he
the
or
dog
she's
do
fine?
about it?
Sydney loves. I mean, I rescued her when COVID first hit.
What kind of dog
Oh.
is it?
She is a healer lab.
Oh my god, a healer.
A healer
So
lab,
does she-
hunting dog.
Does
Yeah,
she try to like corral them?
Oh, she
then?
does. It's
Yeah.
hilarious because now she gets used to them. At first, she was afraid of them. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
because I mean, she was rescue. She walked the streets of Missouri,
Yeah.
so she was always skittish.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like she'll be in the backyard giving me squirrels though. So when I'm like,
Oh
all right,
my
this is gonna
God.
be interesting.
Yeah.
So I have her sniff, and now she lays next to them.
Oh my
And the
God,
rabbits
that's
will be
so
sniffing
cute.
them. Yeah. I mean, I'll never leave her completely alone with them.
Right.
But I mean, there's times where I let them free roam when I'm home 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the animals, because I have litter boxes that I clean every day, and they don't smell like cats. It's just
Right.
hay and bedding, and every 2 days I clean it out so it
Yeah.
doesn't smell in the house because I'm a clean freak.
Yeah.
But I mean, they always go in their little spot. The dog just follows them around.
Does he eat their little Cocoa Puffs? I mean,
Yes.
she.
Yes,
It's a she.
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
People sell it on Etsy too.
Stop.
You buy bunny poop for fertilizer. Not lying.
Stop.
Huh.
You gotta just sprinkle
Go
it
on
in your
Etsy and
yard
look up
then.
rabbit poop.
Stop it. That's so funny.
So I'm like, anyone want free fertilizer? Because I
Yeah.
got 3 rabbits to bag
Yeah.
up here.
So how long have you been raising rabbits?
Since 2010.
Oh my god.
After I
That's a long
graduated
time.
high school. Yep. I did my research. I graduated with my CNA, and I'm like, I need something.
Yeah.
I was still living at my parents', and the funny thing was I brought it home, but I didn't do my research on. I didn't know there were shelters for just rabbits.
Oh,
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
So I went to
Learned something
Petco in Crystal Lake, like the no-no they tell
That's
you
okay,
to. But
yeah.
So I get her, and it was a little lop, and I named her Peanut. She was like this big. But
and when you say lop, is that the ears that like
go down?
That go down.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
They're so cute.
Sucker. Oh my God. When she was little, her ears were bigger than her body. It was
my
great.
God.
It was
So
really cute. So I'm like, all right, I get her in a box because she can't jump yet, and I'm putting her under my bed. I got away with it for like 2 weeks.
Oh, your parents didn't even know?
No, so my parents didn't know. And then one day I'm at work and I hear it was like going to be storming, tornado. I used to work at Angelo's in McHenry, and I'm there, and I'm like, oh my God, tornado. So I'm like, calling my mom, can you go under my bed and bring the bunny downstairs?
Oh my God.
And all of a sudden, and she's like, you better tell your father. So he's in the garage, and I'm like, when I came home, and I was like, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, you might have to sit down. And at first he's like, are you pregnant? Oh my, he's like, oh my. And I'm like, I have a bunny. He's like, what? Because he's a huge hunter.
Yeah.
But he warmed up. As soon as I brought it out, he's Mr. Tough Guy, but all of a sudden he's on the ground with it in the living room. And then I'll be at work and they'll send me a picture of her on the frying pan. Yeah. Smart ass. But he'd be like, hey, yeah, I'm taking care of Peanut today. I'm like, oh my God,
that's so
Dad.
funny.
But yeah.
That's awesome.
Sounds like something Johnny would do for sure.
How many have you had since 2010?
5 total now.
Two
and then 3.
What's their life span?
The longest I had was 11 years.
Oh, that's good.
They can live up to 12 or 13.
Wow.
It depends on the breed. There's 50 different breeds.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, because I got Peanut, and they do better in when they have another buddy. They're less depressed.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you know what sex they are.
Yeah.
Sure, because you could have a few more then. Yeah.
Yep. And like when I got Peanut, I did more research, and at the time I was afraid to clip her own nails. Shelter called No Splitting Hairs, and it was for rabbits.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, they couldn't afford it anymore because they ended up having so many people dropping off rabbits.
Yeah.
They had over 200.
Oh my God.
So after I got, and then instead of paying them, instead of taking money for nail clippings, they'd take donations.
Oh.
So I would bring like, hey, fresh organic carrots or a gift card to Farm and Fleet, so they can get feed or something. And I'm like, I'd rather give them business. And then that's when I'm like, you know what? Now that she's a year old, let's get her a buddy. And I know that they all have them fixed at the shelter.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So I brought her with, and we were cage hopping to see which one they get along, because bunnies are very hard to bond. I mean, they'll take chunks out of each other's ears.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I'm trying to bond all 3 of them right now.
It's going crazy.
You never know what you're going to find when you get back home.
Yeah. I keep them separated. The 2 females get along. Taco, so he was our recent one. He was the one that was kind of like, hey, here's this rabbit, or I'm going to let it go outside. And I'm like, give it to me.
Oh.
That's crap. Like they had
let it go outside.
They had it for 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter can't take care of her anymore.
Well, you take care of her.
You just
and
had
you
her for
teach
4
her.
years. This poor rabbit. So I'm like, all right, bring it here. I didn't even ask my ex. I'm like, okay, we're having another rabbit here. So the kids were like, woo.
Yeah, they're excited.
I mean, he was a sweetie.
Yeah.
It's always the males that I learned. This is the second male I had. Chillest.
Yeah.
The other 2, because it's like my 8-month-old in bunny years is 8 months and human years 16. So it explains a lot.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
Yeah. That sounds about
She's like biting both of them. And I'm like, can you calm down? She's next to get fixed. But I just had Taco fixed. And that's another thing with rabbits. It's $180 for a male to get fixed, and it's over like $250 for a female because they're so little.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
a
need
small
to go
surgery,
to
right?
A small surgery, and with the anesthesia.
Yeah.
So it gets pretty expensive because they need Timothy hay, any kind of hay, dry hay. Obviously, you want to go somewhere where they don't use chemicals.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I go to the pet store and buy it. I'd rather go to, I miss Big R. But I go to Farm and Fleet and I get like a 10-pound thing. And it's like, and now I'm looking around for a farmer to see if because they sell bales.
Check it out, though. My mom has horses.
Yeah.
Hay from the farmer is probably just as expensive. Hay the last couple of years, because if they don't have a good year for it, then it goes up to like
it's crazy.
$8-10 a bale.
And they need it for the farm as well as selling it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's like 80% of their diet.
Yeah.
Unlike dogs, you give them like a cup for breakfast, a cup for dinner, whatever.
Yeah.
They only get 1/4 a cup a day of their pellets.
Yeah.
Because they don't need that. And then
that's just like to make sure they get their roundabout nutrition.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Since they're not in the wild, they can't like get what
Forage.
they need. So they get a little bit of that because they'll get fat.
Yeah.
So
I would like a big old fat bunny.
I know. I think all animals are cuter when they're chubby.
They're so soft.
Oh my God. Yep. I got all 3 of them are like different like coats.
Textures.
Like Buttercup. She's more like a velvet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oreo's more of like a coursey kind. And then I don't know. Taco's kind of in between.
Yeah.
But they have to have, so then fresh vegetables is always good. Obviously you want to stay away from the bagged lettuce because that's crap.
Yeah.
Like iceberg.
That's crap for people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For humans.
There's nothing in there. Like
Yeah.
you're eating water, not even. But I get the living lettuce with the root on it still.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'm going to try this summer to keep that root and try and regrow them.
Yes.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
they're eating it all the time. I try and give it to them once a day. Organic carrots, but carrots they actually can't have a lot of because there's a lot of sugar.
Sugar, yes.
And then they get like wet poop. And that's not good.
You don't want that on your
that.
floors.
No.
And so rabbits can't spit up like hairballs. They can't vomit.
Oh.
So it's very rare that rabbits get hairballs, but once in a while, like once a month, I'll give them a pineapple chunk.
Oh.
Because the enzymes in that pineapple juice helps break down the hairball in there.
Because
the
pineapple literally eats you while you're eating it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it like breaks down different
I
proteins.
do. You know what? When I
and-
have a pineapple, sometimes I get sores in my mouth.
In your
Like,
mouth.
It hurts the top of my.
Yeah, because it's eating you
while
you're eating it.
But yeah, and then like their cages, you gotta keep up with that because they're eating nonstop, so they're pooping nonstop.
Yeah.
And when we got Taco, he wasn't very litter trained, so you just find random Cocoa Puffs all over the cage, and I'm like, all right, buddy.
Yeah.
And he never had a bed before, so he was like in the bed, but going to the bathroom in it, and I was like, okay, buddy, let's go. Like, and I'm teaching my kids along the way. My kids love it, and they help me, and it teaches them responsibility.
Right.
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
they know like bunnies are hard to take care of, and they're a big responsibility. But I think clipping their nails is on the top of hard, and they cannot have baths.
Okay.
So they can go into shock.
So they're like chinchillas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
chinchillas can only take like dust
dust baths.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I guess it puts them into shock, and that's why they like all the bunny like Facebook pages I'm on. They talk about like if you put any kind of video with a rabbit in the bathtub or something, we're like deleting you because it's just so bad for them. It looks like they're swimming and cute, but they're like freaking out.
Yeah.
Like they're not used to it. But the only time I had to give my rabbit was a lop. They're really fuzzy. So her poop was sticking to her butt.
Oh.
So I went to the dollar store and got like a plastic litter box and filled it up like with this much of lukewarm water, just a little bit.
Couple inches.
So like just kind of
Clean her
wipe
butt.
her butt
Yeah.
and then dry her off and like
Yeah.
slowly do it every day till it was gone. I didn't want to like attack her more than a half an hour, because I'm like, okay. Because I mean, they're very skittish.
Yeah.
Like the less you pick them up, the better. Always on the ground, they'll come to you. Because if you pick them up a lot, they're going to be afraid of you.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I would think opposite. Like
Yeah.
the more you
So if
handle
you
them,
sit
the
on
more
the
they get used
ground
to it.
and they hop in your lap, they want to be there.
Yeah.
Then they're
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And they'll lick
Okay.
you. Mine licks me. And they do a little circle around me. That means they want to play.
Okay.
Like I got to watch where I walk sometimes because I don't know
Sure.
if I'm going to be tripping over a rabbit. But yeah,
that's so cute.
Do they
I
get
got
the
little-
zoomies?
Yes.
Like dogs?
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Yes.
They call them binkies.
Oh, okay.
And it's like they shake their butt in the air when they jump up and go boop. Like there's a bunch of TikToks like bunny binkies. It's hilarious.
And now that we're talking about it, it's going to be all over my
We'll
feed
see it
today.
on our TikTok. Yep.
But yeah, they're silly.
Oh, that's amazing.
I want a bunny now.
Oh, my God.
And that's
Do you know
another
my dog
thing.
would eat it? Mickey would for sure
Squeaky
eat it.
toy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
He would definitely eat it.
I had one, but he was not nice. He was not nice.
No.
He ate away my carpet. He scratched. He bit. Like one time he peed on the floor, and me not thinking about it, I was just wiping it, and it attacked my hand
Oh, what a
while I
stink.
was trying to clean the pee. I'm like, oh, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
And then got very, very big. Like I
gosh.
feel like the rabbit was like 2 feet
Like a
long.
Flemish almost.
Oh my God! Like you need to be out in the wild, but I kept him in a crate because he wasn't super friendly. He would bite you. He would attack you. And then finally, my dad told me that he sent it outside, but I think the thing died. Yeah, I think
he got out.
I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that was.
But my mom raised
the dog
bunnies
ran away.
outside.
Yeah,
My
they
dad
hutches.
built this really neat hutch and like a it had a oh gosh, what do you call it, like
a runway?
Oh yeah, I guess.
ramp?
Yeah, I guess like a ramp. Yeah,
Okay.
that you could see them run back and forth to the different hutches.
That's nice.
I remember my mom having them when I was younger at the old house. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like 29 years ago.
Yeah.
So like when I was 10.
Yeah,
So
that's fun.
yeah, and no, it was fun, but they were always outside. We never had pets inside. And then I tried. I'm like, oh, my mom always had bunnies. I'm going to try one. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
So.
You know, we had a lot of animals growing up. We never had bunnies. We had
It's random.
ferrets.
You know? Not a lot of people.
Yeah, we had rats, ferrets,
Oh, that's
snakes.
fun.
Baby raccoons,
Mhm.
dogs always, cats always, horses always. Never had bunnies.
Yeah. Yeah, we had them.
I had a flying squirrel.
We always had an outside dog.
those are so
Sugar
cute
glider.
too.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, my ex's brother moved to South Carolina, and it was so old it couldn't survive the trip.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we took it in because we're like, whatever, you know. And that's when my daughter was like 2, and I had the 2 rabbits, and I'm like, whatever. We didn't have a dog.
Yeah.
My mom did not like it. She hates birds and flying things. So when she came over, she goes, "Is that thing in the cage?" Yeah, Mom, don't worry. But I mean,
Jumping on
now
her
talk
head.
about claws, man.
Yeah.
I had to wear long sleeve, but it would jump on me and like jump around and. But
I
they
don't know
were
if I
they were
can do
messy.
that.
They pooped on everything, and then they had a wheel that has like sandpaper, so it can trim their nails.
yeah.
But they'd poop on it and would cake on. I was like,
Ew.
I like it was nice to have it when I
Experience
did.
it,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I would not.
No.
What are those other small things that everybody always is it gerbils or
Hamsters.
hamsters,
gerbils, yeah.
ferrets?
Oh yeah, ferrets. They're
Ferrets,
sinky.
yeah.
I've seen like
Yeah.
people with reptile. I can't
See,
do
but
any
I
of
like
that.
how ferrets smell.
Oh, what?
You know how some,
Wait, what?
this is weird. This is my weird thing because they smell. First of all, they smell like cedar bedding,
Okay.
right? And then
Yeah.
they have this like musky smell.
I love the smell of cedar.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do too. So some people like puppy breath.
Yeah.
I hate puppy breath. It
can't.
smells like poop.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Nope.
I love
It smells
the
like they
smell
were
of a
licking their
ferret.
balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how ferrets smell.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's at
So-
Petco.
I told Cass what we were talking about.
smell you.
Come
I
here.
told Cass what we were talking about today because I also had another idea. I wanted to talk about like just some lottery facts.
yeah.
And what were you going to name the podcast?
And I
this
said,
episode.
okay, so she texted me and what was I doing?
You were eating
I was
breakfast.
eating dinner.
Or
I was
dinner,
eating
dinner last
You
night.
texted me yesterday. I was eating dinner. So I glanced at it and I go, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. As I'm eating dinner, and I was like, okay, so we're talking about rabbits tomorrow. And then Meredith said she kind of wanted to talk about like lotto and lucky stuff.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I go, okay, I was eating my dinner when you texted me. And now that I've had time to talk about it, I said, are you bringing lotto and rabbits? Because lucky rabbit's foot. And then I was like, did I just name the episode?
Yes, you did.
There you go. That's good thinking. Food for
So
thought.
now we're going to talk about 30 surprising facts about the lottery.
All right.
Okay.
For our lucky rabbit's foot.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. 1 week late, but that's all right.
Well, happy Easter last week, guys. Hope your ham was honey.
So most winners, okay, so this counts it down. I read a couple of them. I'm like, meh, whatever. But most winners blow through their winnings
Yes.
because they are
Poor.
too generous
Oh.
when they win. So
that
yes,
would be us.
So yes,
would be
they
us.
probably like
Yeah.
yes, and now I'm going to give it to everyone and help
Yes.
them.
Yes.
I actually know someone that won $2.6 million a few
Dang.
years ago, and worked with her at a store, met her at a store, and had to work probably the rest of her life because she
Dang.
was too generous.
Yeah.
And gave all her money out to friends, family. This one needed a car. This one needed a down payment on their house.
Oh,
And
geez.
don't do it.
You know
Yeah.
what? You
Don't
won't
do it.
You won't know if I win the lottery.
Nope.
I just disappear.
I mean, there'll be signs. There'll be signs.
the signs are
because
I don't
will no
fucking show
longer
up
be
to
here.
work anymore.
I like those memes that show like all the puppies. And they're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
there'll be signs. It'll be all puppies. Yeah. I would like to do something like that. Like it's have some kind of
Have a
sanctuary.
rescue?
Or something.
Oh, that'd be
But
fun.
not,
Yeah.
I don't want to work it, but
Yeah.
I will pay the people
We
to have the
will-
sanctuary.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah,
You
we
know?
would make it happen. Yeah,
You just gotta
exactly.
come volunteer
I'll be
for
busy.
us.
Yeah, I'll
we
be
will
busy
even put
vacationing.
housing on
All
it.
your
so
followers
you can
will
just
have 'em.
live there. Could you imagine the drama? A bunch of people living
my gosh,
at like
it'd
an
be on the
animal
reality
rescue.
show.
And they're like, now these two are dating, but they broke up. So like she'll only take care of the rabbits and he'll only take care of the flying squirrels. They're not allowed to work together anymore.
can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip a few. This next one is it preys on the poor, like preys, Preys. So disproportionately, those who put up the money for lottery are actually the ones that are in the end of a economic spectrum.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because they're hoping to
You
win.
see that a lot up
Rich
there.
people don't play the
Especially
lottery.
working
They're
retail.
already rich.
How many stories, and I don't know how many are true, but how many stories have you heard where someone says it was my last dollar?
Yeah.
And I went in and bought little lotto or whatever it is in your state, and they win $250,000. It was just enough to get them back going, right? We've heard stories. Everyone's heard stories like that before. So one Powerball payout actually awarded 110 second prize winners. So that first winner that won all actually didn't win as much as they were saying because 110 other winners won like the second prize and that pulls from that the pot, right? Yeah. So at one time, a $17,000 win came from a tip. Oh, wow. So a patron. So this is not the cop to waitress one that there's actually a movie.
Okay, yes.
It could happen to you.
Yes.
That's based on a true story. This one is a patron left a 25-year-old bartender in Oregon a pair of Keno tickets as a tip, and one of them turned out to be a $17,000 win.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
right?
how
That's
fun
a
is
tip of
that?
the lifetime.
How fun is that? So I'm getting my information from bestlifeonline.com.
Best
so
life.
you can look at it
Until you spend it all.
And then this is the cop to the waitress. They split, I think it was like $4 million.
Dang. Okay.
So on April Fool's Day at 9 a.m., he called and said he had just won $6 million. And then she was actually entitled to half of it. And although she said no, they absolutely did.
Why would
in the
she
family.
say no?
Well, she was a kind person. She had just gone bankrupt. She figured whatever, this is not my luck, didn't believe, anything. But the families now get $285,000 a year.
Oh,
Both
shit.
families. Yeah, so that was
plenty
a huge
of
tip.
money.
Mm-hmm.
You can even have a really nice car with that money.
Did you know that there's designated people who check the winning tickets? I wonder how
I did
often.
know that.
I got to
did
tell
know
this
that.
story. I don't know if they listen, but I got to tell you this story. This just reminds me of this. So my friend, who I have known forever, I was 16 years old coaching at a gymnastic factory, and she brought her young daughter in, and I taught her how to do all this gymnastics. She is now a professional ballerina in California, in
that's
LA.
cool.
So I've known this woman for quite a long time, and she's one of my very good friends. She lives up in Wisconsin, and they have 3 daughters, 2 sons, nice big family. The one daughter grabbed a ticket from the counter, not sure how to play lottery, thought she had paid for a ticket, and went home and went to go check her numbers, and they all matched. And so she called her dad and said, I matched all the numbers on the ticket.
I just know
So
how.
you know what's going to happen, right?
Because I worked at a gas station. I know.
So he's on his way over there. It's like an hour drive.
Oh gosh.
Praising God and calling his lawyer and we just won. We are millionaires, right? He just had a bad year and was like, this is it. Got there and she had actually grabbed the printouts of the winning numbers
Oh my gosh.
that you put on the counter so that people can grab it and go check their tickets at home. Talk about just deflated. Like our 100 balloons over here, even more deflated than
Those
that.
are still looking pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. But that just reminded me of that.
They just need a little Botox over there.
Oh my God, how embarrassing though.
Dude.
Can you even imagine thinking that you won and you're like, this
I
is
would be
it.
so pissed.
Town, I gotta cash that.
I don't know if I ever told the story of when we gave the fake lotto ticket to my mom and my stepdad
Oh,
for
those are
Christmas.
fun.
Okay. So my stepbrother would be able to tell you too, because he was there. So we also bought my mom her pink cowboy boots that year too. So whoever was videotaping was going back and forth between my stepdad and my stepbrother scratching, because we threw some regular lotto tickets in there with it too, right?
Oh my God.
And we're going back and forth, like, when are they going to scratch it? And they kept handing it back and forth, no, you scratch it. No, you scratch it. And then we're looking at mom open her pink cowboy boots, and then we're looking back at the tickets, and I see my stepdad is just like, like so quietly, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, I think I fucking won, and it was like $250,000 or something, it says, So I was like, really? I was like, where do we got to go somewhere to go pick it up? I was like, turn it over, read the back. And it was like, to claim your $250,000, build a snowman and wait for it to melt. And da, 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 you know, and he was like, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh, that hurts my heart. I would hate that.
He never forgave us for that.
So did you know that buying a ticket illegally, meaning like you stole someone's credit card or someone gave you money for it, or you rob a bank and then go play a lottery card, if that lottery ticket wins and they find out that you illegally bought it, you do not get the winnings.
Oh, well, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, didn't you rob that bank last week? And
wasn't me.
well, yeah, right.
Must have been my twin.
Some people believe that the Illuminati is behind it all. What do you think about that? I wanted to get your opinion on that.
You want my opinion? Because I follow all the conspiracy theories. You know, I would place bets that it's probably not the Illuminati, but somebody else.
Yeah. Did you know that some people scrounge through the garbage looking for lottery tickets?
How many times have you scratched it and thrown it away?
It's so much to read that they're probably like,
yeah,
without checking
not
it.
a winner.
Yeah.
So I once played a lot of scratch offs. I actually haven't done too many. Although I played a $1 one the other day and won $25. I'm like, why am I not playing? But no, I don't. I don't play anymore. I played way too much last year. And because they are busy, like the crosswords or you miss a word or anything, I cannot tell you how many. I would say not more than 10 times last year, I would go and scan a ticket thinking it's a loser, I'm going to throw it out and win. But win like $200.
Dang.
$100. I was
gonna say 50.
$50. Yeah. Yeah.
200.
The one I thought, like, I think Julia had scratched it off. We just do it for fun. And I was like, oh, no, we didn't win, you know. And the woman that was working at the store couldn't figure out how it was a winner. I'm glad that
I've had those before.
It wasn't a number. It wasn't a symbol.
Yeah.
And I mean, we stood there for 5 minutes. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. What are we missing here? I didn't know if there was like an extra
I'm always
line
like,
or,
I just scan it and it tells me to pay it out. So I pay it out, you know, like I don't look at it.
Yeah. So a lot of people mention, oh, I'm going to get plastic surgery. Do you know very few winners get plastic surgery? That's not the first thing that they do.
That's not the first thing I would do.
What is the first thing that you would do if you won?
Shit.
When you win, I should say, right?
I would
Keep
go
it
on
positive.
vacation.
Yes.
I'd go on vacation.
Yeah. How long would your vacation be?
Probably a month.
And would you like visit different places?
Yes.
Would you
I would
fly everywhere,
travel.
drive, RV? What would you do?
Well, I would leave the country, so I would definitely fly. You know, maybe go on like, I would probably fly somewhere, stay there for a month, and then hop a cruise ship, hit a couple spots, and then like come back to Florida or something, you know.
What about you, Lauren?
I'd buy a car.
Yeah.
I mean, my car's a piece of work, so I'd be like, I need one.
Yeah. Like just walk in and be like, throw a stack, like a couple bands down, and like, I want that car right there.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, do you have a favorite car that
give me
you
that
dream
Suburban.
of?
Not really.
It would have to be kind of something for the kids too, right?
Yeah,
for now.
because I would be like, give me a 72 Skylark. All right. But you can't drive that year round.
Yeah.
You know? But
especially around here. Yeah.
Mom mobile.
You get like
but
a
not
Tahoe,
a minivan.
a Tahoe or a Suburban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had a
because we like road trips. So
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I
love
almost
driving.
bought a van. I was thinking about buying a van for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
No,
we
there's
go
nothing
up
wrong
to
with
the
them. I
Put a
didn't
lot of
have
stuff
one.
in there. The stow and go. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the shit that I carry around for work, are you kidding me?
I never
need
had
a van.
one, but they're great.
Yeah.
Like they're fancy.
Oh yeah.
I've been in somewhere I'm
little
just like, am I at a
TVs?
movie theater?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the chairs, sometimes I could swivel
Heated
like
steering
and look
wheel.
at
Yeah.
each with a table that comes
Okay,
out.
but can we talk about the conversion vans that we grew up with that
Oh,
did
yeah?
the same things?
It's like
Yeah.
carpet
the
ceilings.
back seat turned into a bed, so you just lay back there
Yeah.
while they were driving. The seats would turn. You had a table in the middle, so you could like play cards and stuff. Like
I feel like those kind
Heck
of vans
yeah.
are on like the crime shows.
Yeah.
The ones
it's
with the
not
tables.
the white van.
They're coming back. People are like making them
know.
into, and they're traveling and living in vans
Yes.
and watching TikToks of people redoing them. It's like,
Yes.
dang,
Yes.
turned out pretty good.
And so you listeners can go read all the rest of them. There's quite a few, but I'm going to end with this one because
But wait,
there's all
we didn't
women
ask you
here.
what you would do.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely vacation.
Yeah.
I definitely would get a new vehicle.
Yeah.
Probably some kind of fun SUV because it's not going to matter the gas prices. Right now, I have a
Yeah.
very small, little, cute little
Yeah.
city car because I hate spending money on gas.
Yeah.
So it'd definitely be a fun SUV. And then, definitely vacation.
Vacation.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
I'd take everybody with me.
Yeah.
I think the whole ticket would, like Disney World, you'd probably spend your whole winnings there with the
You
tickets
know what?
now.
Yeah, no kidding.
That is the last place on earth I would probably go to.
We're going in a
You
year.
have kids.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love it for kids. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to go to
it's an
Star Wars,
amazing-
man.
Yes, it's an amazing, magical place. And adults have fun at it too. But my vacation does not.
Tropical.
Yeah,
Cancun.
I'm not like, I want to go hang out with a million kids and trip over them in a park.
This
you know?
is true.
Yeah.
So actually, I have 2 more.
Oh, okay.
One more says almost half of winners keep their day jobs. When I first read this,
Ew.
I would. I'd be
when
bored.
You know what, though?
Sick.
When I first read this, I thought
No.
it said almost half of women keep their day jobs. I was like, yeah, we're the stronger force.
Yeah.
No, half
Yeah.
of women's keep. So I always said that I would probably do like some kind of volunteer, but I know that I would get sick,
I wouldn't.
sick of it.
Nope.
Yeah, I would get sick of it.
Yeah.
I've done volunteer
Well,
even
I
when I
mean,
was
yeah,
broke.
no.
Stir crazy.
No.
I
Then
was
you
a
go on a
stay-at-home
trip.
mom once, and
You go on a trip.
Yeah. Who
That's
knows,
true.
right?
Yeah, get out of there.
Yeah. I would have like probably 3 houses around the country. So I'd just be like, I'm bored. Let's go to my other house.
Make it a hobby.
Yeah.
Fun
Be
hobby.
very
Get
If
out
you
of
win the
house.
lottery, just be very careful. You all of a sudden are going to have a lot of friends and
Oh,
family.
yeah.
Yeah. For
and
sure.
then the last one is don't forget to sign your ticket.
Yes.
Sign your ticket in
Yes.
pen, even
So
though they're
nobody
showing
else can
you
claim it.
someone signing a ticket in pencil. But yeah,
Oh,
make sure no
geez.
one else can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Oh, here, one more. It just keeps getting better and better, this list. In most states, you have to go public. You have to let people.
That's scary. I
bullshit.
Mhm. I remember years and years ago, there was a woman that she waited till like day 364 because she spent all year planning. Like she
That's
had
how
an
to do
investment company.
Yes.
She had her lawyers.
That's some patience.
And when she took her picture holding her check, because it has to go public, they're allowed to share that you won their lottery. She had these sunglasses that covered her whole face.
Yeah.
Probably wore clothes that you will never see on her
Right.
again. And it looked like she had a wig. Like it was like
Yeah.
a brunette. I bet she wasn't even brunette, or at least it was a different style to her
Yeah.
hair. I remember seeing that and they were talking about
That's
it, how
smart.
she had planned it. So it was pretty interesting. The whole story was very interesting. But
That's crazy.
and she did it through a not through her name, but she actually opened something up for
like a trust.
a trust. Thank you. Yes. I was gonna say a
Yes.
society. I don't know, the Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
She talked with the Illuminati and said, but a trust. Yeah. So it went under
Yes.
that name, so it wasn't her name. So she
Yes.
must have had some family and friends that wanted a little something.
I'm
something. So,
sure.
yeah. Oh my gosh, this was so fun.
Yeah.
This was. And thanks for
I was
naming it.
just-
yeah.
I let people
Lucky
know
rabbits,
online, but we record this and do the
Okay, but
editing. But you,
How effed up is it that
Title.
we walked around as teenagers with rabbit feet on our keychains?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now that I own them, it's like, oh my god,
How
that's
could
so
we do
morbid.
that?
I never did.
You didn't?
No way.
Oh, I
But maybe
definitely
that's why I don't
did.
have any luck.
I definitely had a lucky rabbit's foot growing up.
And it was a true one?
Yeah, you could feel like we would always be
It's
like,
weird.
look, it has toenails.
It's
in it."
gross.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, they were for real, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was literally
Oh.
like a foot lobbed off and they put like a metal cap on top of it and then secured a chain to it. Here you go.
How did they get them in colors? Weren't they like green, blue,
Probably
dyed
yellow?
'em, yeah.
Oh, because it's just
Because it's a
that
dead
was kind of a
rabbit
dumb
foot.
question, I guess.
They just dipped all 4 feet
I think
and then
that's
chopped
why
them off.
I'm in denial still. I'm like, no, that can't be real. That's green. I've never seen a green rabbit. See, I'm still in denial. That's what's happening. Lauren, thanks for joining us
Thanks
again.
for having me. I love it.
Oh my gosh, this
Happy
is so
Easter
fun.
last weekend.
Yeah, come back again. As always, you're always welcome. It's always a pleasure.
Well,
Thanks.
thanks for having me.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. Hippity hoppity.
What? Yeah, I was gonna say, what noise
Hippity
does
hoppity.
rabbits make?
Oh man, they
Hippity
just
hoppity.
thump. They're quiet.
Oh, thump. They thump.
Oh, they don't do
Okay.
this?
No, but
No.
they can chew up to 12 times in like a second. Like,
Oh,
fast.
it's like how
you
I
ever see
eat.
the videos. They eat the berries and then they lick
man.
their little nose.
Oh, I
it's
love
so
giving them a strawberry because it looks like
Oh,
they murdered someone because they turn
so
red.
Oh,
So it reminds me of the Holy Grail rabbit.
Oh,
you know,
it's so
attacking them.
cute.
This podcast is brought to you by NameTag Productions, LLC. Entire podcast, unless otherwise stated, written by the hosts. The Clopen Effect, a retail podcast. If we have to be all in this together, we might as well make it fun.